Some of you guys may know that my purple nurple had some mechanical issues that I needed to get figured out. I heard a weird little pinging noise, kind of like maybe a washer being vibrated in between a couple pieces of metal. And I wanted to go through the bike and to make sure that all the nuts and bolts and everything were tight, since it's been a full year since I had finished building the bike and been riding around and having a lot of fun with it. So as I was looking around, I noticed that there was a bunch of oil coming out of the rear tailpipe. It's never really a good sign. Sometimes you can just hope that it's just where your ring gap, all the ring gaps line up and you get a bit of oil seeping out, but that wasn't quite the case. I just got a call back from Forney Cycle and Fab out of Beaver City, Nebraska. They're the guys that actually did the weld. They did the hardtail weld on for me for the Sporty. So took the bike over there and they opened up the top. They thought maybe just valves or something like that. Worst case scenario would have been jugs and pistons and everything. So everything that we did in the garage building the bike, it was all good. We actually did nothing wrong on the bike. So the 100-inch kit for the twin cam 88s, the cylinder walls are just on the thin side. You know, some people have had good luck with these, some don't. Unfortunately, I was one of the ones that didn't have such good luck with the 100-inch. For some reason, unknown reason, the engine heated up. Maybe in a couple of batches of bad gas, run really lean. Could have been the dyno tuning, bad AFR reading. I know that it was still on the cold side whenever I had it dynoed last year. I don't know if that was a contributing factor or not. But the pistons and rings are toast. As you can see in these pictures here. So ended up having to order up another kit. Yay. This is the 98. Now I just got the jugs and the pistons themselves with the rings, new wrist pins, stuff like that. These are a little bit thicker walls. It'll carry roughly about the same amount of power. I have heard that some people are getting maybe around 115 horsepower with the 98s. Of course, they're probably running much bigger cams that I've got. I'm running a 585 Easy Starts. Same thing with the Beehive 585 valve springs. So I don't know if I really want to go any bigger on the cams at this point. I may, when I try to do a winter project on the bike, because I like to put some stage 3 ported heads on it, maybe like a 55mm throttle body, some bigger injectors. And I've been looking into maybe a dark horse crank for it. And at that point, I know I'm gonna have to go to a chain drive system and maybe have to do some transmission work just to make sure it all holds it properly. That's the plan anyway. I don't know if I'm gonna go ahead and go through it or just get the bike running again and leave it like it is. I don't know, maybe go get another little soft tail or something later on down the road and then do a pretty big build on that engine. Now the original goal was to just go ahead and finish off the build of the bike, do the top end work, and just kind of see where I get with that. But I know the more that I do, I'm gonna have to bring up and build up the rest of the entire bike to be able to handle that kind of power that it would be putting out. Stock probably wouldn't hold that kind of power coming out of it now. So at this point, I'm now gonna have to go in and cut the jugs down again. And I'll bring you along for this one as well. First thing I'm going to do is close this off. So I got just the basic little small Dremel tool, and I'm going to start right about this edge, so I can get a nice cleaner angle cut there. and I can bring it back and then work my way all the way around. So that is basically the process that I do here. I just take the little end of the bit, I kind of start right on the edge here. Then I bring it down to where it's just going to be a 45 with the end of here and somewhere up into here. And it just puts a pretty good little cut in here. It's just a tedious process. Once you get the hang of it, it's not so bad. It is just really time consuming. And whenever I'm lining this up, whatever is at the edge of the hole, I just kind of line that up just a hair bit over to leave a little bit of a black gap in there, just to help define a little bit more. When you're just coming back to meet these two, just figure out if you have enough room to go full width, or you can widen these up a little bit more depending, but it seems like we're gonna be good here. So that's basically done. Now I'll go through the other one and finish that up off camera. No reason for me to go through two of them, but you got all different size tips and style of tips, create different effects on there. And this one here, you can actually angle it sideways if you wanted to and create like a zigzag pattern. Of course, you got your smaller one here. That's kind of how I do mine. Now I like how they look whenever they're on there. I think they have a really nice look. So let me get the other one done and I'll show you guys when that's finished. All right, now that we got our diamond cut on the fins themselves, and we'll just show you how I got this effect down here at the bottom. I'm just going to use this little brush area here and take the majority of this off, and then I'll come in with my little Dremel and use this tiny one here in the edges and corners. The reason I'm doing this right here is because this area here on the jug comes out flat, so I don't really want to brush away any more than I have to, like that. So when doing this, I'm using this little bitty tiny tip right here. Basically, I will hold this at about a 30-degree angle, and I'll come in real close to here and then start here. I want to leave a little bit of black line so this stands out. So we'll just start making our first little dimple here. And so what I'm doing is when I come in here again, I'll come in right between where I put those first two, just above it, and I'll start cutting little dimples in between each and every one of those that I just did. And then that should allow me to have a row of 4 to be all the way across. So basically that's kind of what you get, and they're just staggered. Like I said, they're just staggered in between each one. You gotta pay attention to where you're at, because these will start looking like everything else when you go to cut them. It'd be kind of hard. It's just a little on the hard side to follow where you're at sometimes. We'll just continue on with those little steps here until we get to the end. And that's basically what you end up with by doing it that way. I don't think that looks so bad, but I need to get these finished up so I can get these taken in and get these put on my bike. I've been without that thing for long enough already. And I'll show you this. I'll just continue along, and then we'll see how it looks when we get done. So I got these all finished up. As you can see, they turned out pretty well. I don't have any complaints on that whatsoever. I really like how that looks. I wish I would have done that on the original ones for my bike, but really glad I did that now. If you guys have any questions on the process of this or anything else, feel free to reach out to me at Blacktop Rider on Facebook. You can message me, whatever, follow along with what I'm currently got going on. If you like this kind of content, please like, subscribe, follow, comment, whatever helps the channel out. My other things that I like to do is I like to go on poker runs, show why we bikers go out and ride these roads and what it means to a bunch of us. Thanks again for watching. Check you later.